Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Hi, friends. If you're listening to this in real time, you're listening in the summer. Happy summer. I'm such a summer girl, okay? Don't catch me in the winter. I'm grouchy. Catch me in the summer. I'm in a good mood. I'd love to hear from you. What season do you feel like you are naturally? I love the sunshine. I remember when I moved back to San Diego, one of the first things I remember was the way that I felt. The sensation felt familiar. Like it reminds me of like when I was young and I would play with my sister in the sprinklers and then we would lay on the cement and I would just feel the grittiness of the cement and the warmth of the cement and the cool air, and that feeling just feels so regulating to me. I remember when I moved back to San Diego, I would just kind of feel that sensation in the air. I don't know if you have that same feeling. Maybe you grew up in a hot area and maybe the heat feels good to you or the cold, but I so enjoy the summer. I'm so grateful for it. Minus the fact that my kids are in mountain biking camp this week and it's just the checklist of things that I need to remember. I'm like, do they have their helmet? Do they have their ball cap? Do they have their sunscreen? Do they have their chapstick? Do they have their sunglasses? It's just like, it's another situation, right? You've heard me say before, one of my favorite things about summer is naturally as women, I think we want to work less, right? Whether it's because our family needs us, whether it's because we want a vacation. I actually think this is such a good thing because naturally we want to live our life. And so I think where women go wrong is they make that mean that, oh, I just have to go cold turkey on my business. And sure, you can. But also, how do we figure out a way to work in really reduced hours? How do we find a way to have clients that aren't a pain in the butt that we don't mind checking in on? How do we create a business that we're working on a 3-day work week? And this is one of my favorite times of year to help women with this because it just naturally, during the rest of the year, I have to convince women like, don't over tweak your funnel, go get a hobby, right? Have boundaries, don't check your work email at night. But summer is so natural for that. So if you're feeling that urge to be more present in your life, I just want to encourage you to go with it. Okay, today's podcast episode, I had an idea. I know lately I've been doing a little bit less guest podcasts, more just like going off the cuff, but I would love to hear from you, like which podcast episodes you most enjoy. Do you like when I do interviews? Do you like more teaching stories? I want to do what is useful for you. Until then, I'll just do what I want. Okay. Recently, I needed to hire someone. Actually, for my personal life, not for my business. I don't want to say exactly what it was just because I'd rather not, but it really put me in the seat of a buyer. And I think as women who sell stuff, it can be so good to put ourselves in the seat of a buyer because we forget, right? I was talking to one of my girlfriends about this. You guys know I'm a bar teacher, right? I teach on the weekend as a hobby. Of course, I teach bar fitness classes, which is basically like Pilates, ballet-inspired Pilates, standing up at the bar, right? And I was talking to her. She's working on training to become a bar teacher and was saying that she was going to feel so nervous teaching because she would feel like everyone in the room was judging her essentially. And it really reminded me of how much when we are the consumer, we often are not judging the teacher. What are we doing? When we're in a fitness class, we're like, is the teacher judging me? Right? We're like, am I keeping up enough? Am I fast enough? Am I good enough? I want to be a good student. And it just reminded me so often when we are, quote, the person in charge or the person in the leadership seat, how much we feel imposter syndrome. But the truth is that often people are not judging us. In fact, they're the ones feeling insecure. And well, number one, if they are judging us, then we don't want them in our life, period. But this reminded me so much of when I was on those sales calls with these people trying to hire this position. And it really reminded me of what I needed and wanted in a buyer. Before we go any further, I want you to think about when you are a buyer, what most matters to you. I did a podcast a few times ago about how we really need to listen on sales calls and how we just need to, number one, get to their big picture desire, not just like, do they want a website? Do they want a business coach? Do they want a VA? No. What are they wanting in life, and how is what we're doing connect them to that, right? If they want to travel more and they want more freedom, okay, great. Hire a VA, because then you're going to get that person in the office when you're out of office, right? So I want to take this conversation one step further. If you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to that episode. Step further is really putting our shoes into when we are the buyer, right? When we're on the sales call, when we're hosting the sales call, so often we're subconscious because we're like, oh, is this person going to like me? Do they want to hire me? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Right? But remembering most often the person that is being sold to is in a place of vulnerability and insecurity too, right? We're just two women trying to figure this thing out and remembering to come from that place of empathy. So think for a second on the last thing you bought or purchased or were in a buying position around, or maybe you are right now. Maybe you're thinking about hiring a coach. Maybe you're thinking about buying a car. I don't know. Whatever it is you're thinking about buying or hiring, it's not fun to be in a buying decision, to be honest. It can feel like a big weight and a big responsibility, even when it's something we want, like a coach, like a car. It can feel really hard because why? We want to make the right decision. We want to make sure what we're investing in is going to really help our solution. We don't want to make our problem worse, right? It's very complex and very challenging. And so just remembering that when we're on the selling end of a sales call can be so useful. I want to share some insights on what I most enjoyed when I was on sales calls recently. And I want you to think about that for a minute, right? The biggest thing that I walked away from was I really wanted the person that I was hiring to believe in me. And this sounds silly and it sounds small and simple, but I really wanted to see, does this person believe in me? Does this person want me to win? Is this person on my side? And not like, how much do they know and are they qualified and blah, blah, blah. Like, does that person believe in me? Is that person going to be in my corner? Is that person going to be there for me, right? Do they believe in the end outcome that I'm trying to get? And even if I don't hit that end outcome, are they still going to be there for me? I mean, if I don't hit that end outcome right away, are they going to help me reconfigure and go at it again? Because as a consumer, right, you guys have heard me, I told my first business coach this, I know that I'm going to be successful. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, but I know I'm going to be successful. Will you help me get there? The right clients on a sales call with you are not looking for you to promise them anything, right? They are looking for you to help make their journey faster and easier and believe in their end outcome and know that through the ups and downs, you're going to be there, right? I also wanted some strategy. I just didn't want some like fluff and stuff. I wanted some picture of how I was going to get there. And so even though I'm saying like, oh, I wanted them to believe in me, I also wanted her to give me a little bit of guidance and a big picture plan on what the strategy is going to be. Because here's the thing, if you hire a health coach, different health coaches are going to get you healthy different ways. One may support you through veganism. One may support you through CrossFit. One may support you through whatever, right? So it is important to give like a whiff of the strategy, but mostly focusing on that end outcome. I also, this is any person I hire, I really look at how attentive they are in general, not just what they're saying on the sales call, right? I'm looking for reliability. So when I'm hiring a VA, I have 3 amazing team members. And what I noticed with all 3 of these ladies in the interview process, not just what they were saying on the Zoom call for the interview, but what was happening around the process. This is equivalent to, you probably heard in an interview, right? Like, okay, don't just hire the person that knocks their interview out of park, but hire the person that was kind to the receptionist on their way in. It's the same vibe, right? In the process of getting to know someone, whether it's dating someone, hiring someone, something's going to go awry. And I love it. I love it when something goes awry, because then we see their true character, right? Let's say you have a sales call scheduled and you can't make it and you let them know ahead of time. You know what? Something came up. I can't make this call, but I can make it next Friday. Can you move it to that? We want the person to be flexible on both ends, like the communication, the respectfulness, the attentiveness, all of that is so key. And that's the context clues. And I think someone that, hires someone and regrets it is often someone that has maybe like a moment of infatuation or a moment of like self-doubt and really is not looking at all the context clues. And what I want to encourage us as women is to be awake, right? To look at the signs, to not ignore our intuition. I think we spent far too long, myself included, ignoring our intuition. And what we want to do is keep our intuition on and look at the bigger picture, not just their words, but their actions, how we feel, and put all the context clues together, right? Doesn't mean that they're perfect, but are they organized? Are they attentive? Are they showing up to the session on time? And I think all of that can be so useful to see someone's track record, right? Finally, something else for me was I really wanted someone that would challenge me, someone that wouldn't just agree with me, but someone that would respect me. And I think in the coaching space, we've lost a little bit of this, unfortunately, right? We either have coaches that will challenge you and they're kind of mean to you and will disregard your intuition, or will just kind of like say whatever needs to be said to get the sale. I remember early on in my business when I was looking to hire a coach, I had like poured it out in this little like assessment she had, and she sent me back an email. She hadn't met with me, and she basically like just said back what I had said. And I'm like, you don't even know me, right? And some people might take it as like, oh, wow. But I think when we're putting together all the context clues, we're really seeing, is this person invested in me? Now, you've not hired this person yet, right? So if for me, like when someone buys a course from me, they're going to get a different level of attention from me than if they're buying my high ticket mastermind, right? But truly, I am attentive to people, period. And I think that shows. And so again, for me, another part was, is this person going to respect me, be attentive to me, pay attention to me? This is why in my mastermind, I have a small mastermind, why it's around 12 women. Because for me, I really want my clients to be seen and to be known. And I think that that's important, right? Especially in our current economic times, especially when things are a little more challenging, but always like we need that support. And so for me, even in a sales call situation, I'm looking for someone to not always agree with me, but someone that's going to respect me. And it's so interesting because when we're leading a sales call, I think so often I hear my clients say, oh, I'm nervous to challenge someone, whether it's like challenging their money objection or challenging something they're doing. But I love to challenge people lovingly in a sales call because when someone's a paying client of mine, I'm also going to challenge them. And so for me, it's kind of a great litmus test to see, are they coachable and can they take feedback? And if not, great, but I'm probably not the coach for you. Right? And so as you show up as your true self, as your full self, I think that's where we can start to shine. Okay, I've got more to share, but I just want you to pause for a second here and ask yourself, maybe like what's holding me back from showing up 100% authentically in my sales calls, right? Knowing that your ideal client is going to fall in love with the fact that you challenge them, fall in love with the fact that you are attentive, not the fact that you're perfect. I've had to reschedule sales calls before and I've still gotten hired, right? Because I'm communicative, because I'm attentive, right? Just trusting those parts of you, trusting that you are that person that believes in your clients, that believes in their end outcomes, that maybe you're not the coach that's going to give them false promises, but you are the coach that's going to be with them through thick and thin, and the right clients are going to love that about you. Love that about you. Okay, so if you didn't already journal on it, please take a second to mentally journal on, when I am the client, what do I most love and enjoy? If you guys have watched my sales masterclass, it's like $50 and it's called Invite Masterclass and is my formula for sales calls that convert. I interview 2 people that actually I was on the receiving end of a sales call with, and I really unpack what they rocked in the sales calls with me, what I loved about it, and I really translate it to my formula for sales calls. And I really think that take is so important as heart-centered entrepreneurs because we have this allergy to sales. We don't want to be icky. We don't want to be pushy. Blah, blah, blah. But I think when we think through what's the time I've been on a sales call and it felt good and right, that's where some of the magic can start to happen. So really thinking through, last time I was a buyer and it felt good, maybe you're like, oh, I was a buyer and it felt wrong that one time and that time. Don't think about that. Think about the time that you bought something and it felt good. It felt empowering. Really take notes on what it was for you. Is it similar to me where you felt believed in? There was some practical strategy. They were attentive. They challenged you but respected. Or is it something different? But really taking notes on that in that position. That's ultimate sales empathy, right? Okay, I just have a few more like random notes as I was taking notes on what I want to say to you too. You've heard me say this before, but when we're thinking about sales calls, really remembering buying styles, buying personalities, and remembering that your client's personality might be different than yours or not, right? What I mean by that is knowing for you, are you someone that likes to buy in an exciting way? Like you like to buy a fast action bonus, right? You like to buy when things are on sale. You like to whatever, right? Or are you someone that would prefer to miss out on saving money in exchange for having a little more autonomy and freedom? Maybe you'd rather think on it for a while. Even if you miss the fast action bonus, who cares? Because you have the money, you'd rather have that time and you don't want to be confined, right? Someone that values freedom over saving money. Again, neither is wrong or right, but really looking at, do you like to buy early? Are you a fast adopter? Do you like to take your time and wait? And really thinking through, I think in general, our clients often mirror our buying style. So it can be fun to emulate that. If you're someone that loves a sale, that loves a deal, doing sales and deals for your audience, right? If you're someone where that's not as much, maybe you integrate a little bit of that, but it's less about that. Maybe it's more about waitlist building for you. But really identifying what are my buying styles and patterns? How do I not villainize people that have a different pattern than mine? And how do I overall just become aware of the different buying styles and patterns? I'm a big fan of like diversity in my business of all kinds. And for me, honestly, part of that is also personality of the women. And so that's why I love to accommodate for different buying styles. It's why I have sales. It's why I have bonuses, but I also allow people to join right up until cart close. Okay. Another interesting thought that I had, because in this time of hiring someone, I was hiring someone having a pretty clear need. So I was interviewing several people in that market looking for that solution. And I just want to say, like, when people hop on a sales call with you and you know that they're on other sales calls with other people, don't let that phase you. That's actually a good thing because it means they're really in the market and they're really actively a serious buyer, right? If you're a VA and you hear, so they're on the call with another VA, that's a good thing. It means that you're not having to convince them that now is the time. You're just having to convince them that you are the one. Because again, it's not wrong, but you might also be in a boat where maybe someone is on a sales call with you. They're not on a sales call. Maybe they're on a sales call with you and you're a website designer. They weren't really thinking about doing a website, but for whatever reason you connected and they love you and they're like, oh, maybe I do need a website. You're not having to convince them that you are the one because they're not really considering other website designers, but you are having to convince them that now is the time, right? You're having to convince them of the value of your product. And this is really interesting because I think as, the online space increases and grows, as there's more coaches, as there's more website designers, right? I don't think selling has become harder. I think it's just become different. Again, it's less of convincing them to buy the thing. Often they already now see the need. Like when I was starting off in business 10 years ago, people really had a hard time understanding what coaching was. And so it was more convincing them it's safe to invest in coaching, right? But now it's more so they know what coaching is. Here's why I'm the coach for you. And the reason I say this is I think I've been hearing several clients lately say like, oh, they're on multiple sales calls or like as if that's a bad thing. But for me, I'm like, that's a good thing because they're ready to spend their money like yesterday. And it's just remembering that whatever sales conundrum you're in, there's always going to be a sales conundrum. So not villainizing it and being like, oh, cool, actually that I've identified it, right? Okay, I wanted to wrap up just with some thoughts I've been having lately. I've been having a little bit of like life as existential crisis, not in a bad way, but in a like, as my kids are getting older, they're 8 and 10, I've really been coming back to like, what do I believe and want to teach my kids? Like what values and traditions can I embark on them? We've actually gone back to when they were really young, we used to do like a lot of bedtime stories. We've actually gone back to doing bedtime stories. And I've been buying a lot more like children's books again, just to facilitate conversation. Books are so good at facilitating conversation. And I really have been thinking through in my life, like, what do I value? What do I stand for? What does integrity mean to me? My aunt always said growing up, integrity is what you do when no one's watching. And I know as heart-centered entrepreneurs, you resonate with this. And I cannot help but smile every time I'm on a client call or a sales call. If you guys could be a fly on the wall for your own calls, like, you would just fall in love with yourselves because you guys have the sweetest hearts. Like, your problems are so heart-centered, right? It's because you want to give so much and you want to care so much and you care about your clients, and you guys just have you have good integrity and beautiful hearts. And I just want to sell all your programs for you because you guys are just so kind, right? It's like I was telling at my mastermind at the last call we have is an affirmation ceremony where the girls, or next to last call, where the girls say the goal that they see in each other, and it's so affirming and beautiful. And I think often when women hear those positive words from their mastermind peers, they think, oh, if only they really knew about me. But I'm like, no, if they really knew about you, they would love you even more, right? In those quiet moments of your home, when you are dealing with a difficult client, right? When you are dealing with something hard in your partnership and you're really trying to be the best wife you can be, right? When you are trying to be the best mom you can be, when you're trying to be the best sister, the best daughter, the best friend, right? You care. You are trying. You have integrity. And that's why I'm so grateful to serve you. I'm so grateful to be on this corner of the internet with you. Like, you make it a joy. You make it a joy to support you. Anyway, I digress. Back to what I was saying, which is I've been thinking so much about what do I stand for, right? In my business, obviously, the beautiful thing is I make good money now. So for me, it's much more like what motivates me to keep going in business. It really is my core values. Number one, I have them on my website. But number two, I just been thinking more and more about like what culture, what change do I want to make in the world, right? And for me, when I think about my core values, for connection, for generosity, for honesty, for diversity, for excellence, I really think through how I can bleed those into my sales calls too, right? Because again, I kind of all the things I mentioned that I was looking for when I was hiring someone and on sales calls. Are they generous with me? Are they honest with me? Or are they just telling me what I want to hear? Are they courageous? Are they a leader, right? Are they excellent, right? Not are they perfect? Are they showing up in a way that is attentive? Are they going to serve me well? Are they connected, right? Do they value diversity? Do they honor people that are different than them? Do they stand up for rights of people that are different than them? And so I think this is a call, again, to go back to what we stand for, because I think at the end of the day, sales just becomes infinitely easy and we land the right sales calls when we are coming from that place of connection, from that place of security, and from a place of integrity. Okay, sending you the biggest hug, and your homework, should you choose to take it, is to remember that there are people out there who are absolutely looking for what you have to offer. I'm going to do a podcast in a little bit on the economy and some of that, but I really do think that people are more savvy, and that's good news because you're a heart-centered entrepreneur and you're a great product. The people that need to be scared are people that are shady, right? But I think sometimes as heart-centered entrepreneurs, we can show up better as a product than we do in our sales process, right? And because we're nervous, because we have visibility blocks, because we don't want people to judge us, because we kind of like freeze up and we let fear take the show. I find that most of my clients, they're a better product. Their clients are happier behind the scenes. They're like the internet's best kept secret, which is fine, but it's really not great because we want more people hiring you. We want more money coming in the door. We want more clients. And so it's just remembering, right, that it's safe to show up as yourself on the sales call. There are people looking for what you need and there are people looking for what you have to offer, and it's safe for you to show up in that way that, again, isn't like proving energy, isn't convincing energy, isn't feeling nervous, isn't feeling imposter syndrome, isn't feeling less than, isn't feeling scarcity, like if this person doesn't hire me, no one else, right? Returning back to those few things that are important to you when you make a hire. Right? I'm going to say mine one more time again, but I want you to list out the things that are important to you when you hire. And I want you to see how you can keep integrating that into your calls, right? I want someone, I'll say this to you as if you're the person I'm hiring, okay? I want you to believe in me. I want you to believe in my end outcome that we're working on together. I want to know that even if I don't hit that end outcome we're working on in lickety split, that you're still in my corner, that you're going to be engaged and keep troubleshooting with me. I want some clear strategies. I want to hear a little bit of your expertise. I want to hear your opinion. I want you to challenge me. I want you to respect me. I want you to know that you're going to honor my intuition and leave space for that. I want you to be attentive, and not just with your words, but in your overall energy. So this means you don't have to chat the whole call, right? In fact, in your listening, in fact, in your quiet, in fact, in your waiting, that's also some of the overall energy I pick up on if I notice that you're being, right? I don't expect you to respond back to my email in 5 seconds when we're in this sales negotiation, but I do hope you respond in like 24 or 48 hours, right? I want you to be secure. I want you to be confident. I want you to be a leader to me. And I want you to be confident enough in yourself. I don't want you to be insecure. I want you to be secure in who you are. Sending you the biggest hug. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.